Zoro's only dream in the One Piece story is to become the strongest swordsman, a feat that he has yet to achieve, despite his renown and infamy as a swordsman and as a pirate, because that title still belongs to the legendary swordsman named Hawkeye Mihawk. But there was a time when Zoro had the chance to defeat him, but lost. But beyond the fact that, given the vast world of One Piece, Zoro was seriously underpowered compared to Mihawk and a large number of other swordsmen in the One Piece mythology, narratively, Zoro's defeat was an incredibly important turning point for him. Zoro is the kind of person that needs a North Star. The comedy behind him always getting lost isn't just a running joke. In the beginning of the series, when he was first introduced, he was a lost swordsman. He went around aimlessly seeking Mihawk and stumbled into pirate hunting just to survive. He didn't know how strong Mihawk was or where to find him or at all what existed in the world as far as strength, as he had never even been to the Grand Line. That aimlessness, that lack of direction almost had him killed by the Marines. When Zoro doesn't have a clear direction, that's how he is. When he was younger, the one thing that pushed him forward, that gave him direction, was his relationship to Kuina. She was the strongest swordsman at their dojo, and because of her skill and passion, Zoro trained endlessly, even developing the three-sword style. Knowing that there was someone out there that was stronger or more skilled than him kept him going. With Kuina, he had a cause and a direction. Knowing this about Zoro, and knowing how lost and aimless he was prior to fighting Mihawk in the Baratier arc, had he actually defeated Mihawk, if for some reason Mihawk had blunted his sword even more than he actually did, or was just looking for the chance to die in battle, he would have had no direction after winning. To his mind, there would be no stronger swordsman than him. There wouldn't have been a need for him to train harder than ever because his greatest task would have been finished. And when he with the Straw Hats finally made it to the Grand Line and met someone with supreme power in Haki, Zoro would have been defeated. Zoro is actually quite a bit like another character in the Big Three Shonen, Kenpachi Zaraki. Zaraki was the strongest swordsman in the entire Serete, and ironically, someone who is terrible at directions. But because of the thrill of battle, his prowess, his greatness was so vast, he unconsciously made himself weaker to continue battling, to continue to have something to strive and build himself up for. And only by discovering a battle, an opponent worthy of his full might, was he able to break free from that block and achieve the height of his powers. Zoro is similar in that he's quite blinded to what it takes to be great. He cannot measure it on his own, so he seeks out the strongest opponent he knows, and by chasing after them, he becomes the strongest that he can be. So if he had defeated Mihawk in the beginning of his story, Zoro would have none to seek after. He might have put another mental block around himself, the one that allowed him to trust in the Marines, and he might have left the Straw Hats entirely. When Kuma proved that there were powers far greater than his own in the Grand Line, when he defeated him so thoroughly at Shabandi, Zoro sought out Mihawk to train him, to become better than he was before, and suddenly his most important rival was his teacher. If he had defeated Mihawk in the past, Mihawk wouldn't have trained him, and Zoro wouldn't have anyone stronger than him that he could even assume was a friend to ask to train him. Therefore, he would have had to seek someone out, most likely away from the Straw Hats. Yet through Zoro's defeat, Zoro was able to better see his North Star. He knew what he had to train for. He had someone now who he could ask for help to make him better. And he made a promise to Luffy never to be defeated. And those are truly the most important pieces of his journey. Zoro's journey wouldn't have been the same without this loss, because it was only through being lowered that Zoro remembered to keep looking up.
I'm sorry for disappointing you. I know that you need nothing less than the greatest swordsman in the world. I've let you down. Please forgive me. I solemnly swear from this moment forward that I will never lose again. Is that okay? King of the Pirates!